just start to turn down in volume. And allow yourself to shift into a deeper inner quiet and inner calm. As well, just listening. And I don't even necessarily mean listening to the yoga instructor, but really listening to the sensations that you feel within your body, the intuition, the wisdom that resides inside of you. That's all. We're going to start off in seated, and if you have a block, please feel free to grab a block and rest your hands on top of your knees, your thighs, or your lap, wherever it feels most restful for you. And as you find yourself, go ahead and close your eyes. And just start to shift your attention and your awareness inwardly inside. And this practice this evening is practice we call Yin Yoga for athletes and everybody else. So we'll be targeting some of these areas in the body that in many forms of athletics get used a lot, that there's a lot of demand in those particular joints and muscle groups. And the intention of the practice really to allow those areas to become restored. So just begin now by allowing your sit bones to anchor down into the ground beneath you or the block below you. Allow your heart and your sternum to elevate up towards the ceiling. Allow your shoulders to soften, to relax, and to melt down. Just allowing your neck to be nice and long. And then as well, just notice all the muscles in the face relax, especially the hinge of the jaw. Perhaps finding a little bit more space between the bottom teeth and the upper teeth. And then just starting to feel your brain and your mind becoming a little less active and just a little bit more passive as we really shift into this world of yin that's so different than the busyness of life. So imagine that this time that we have together within our practice is just simply a vacation, a retreat from the busyness of your life and the busyness of your mind. And the less that you can be in that thinking mode and the more that you can be in that feeling mode, the better. So just invite the noise within the mind, the thoughts within the mind, the chitter chatter inside the mind to just start to turn down in volume. And allow yourself to shift into a deeper inner quiet and inner calm. And as well, just listening. And I don't even necessarily mean listening to the yoga instructor, but really listening to the sensations that you feel within your body, the intuition, the wisdom that resides inside of you that's often obscured from the noisiness. And just attuning yourself into all the things that you're feeling and allowing your mind to shift into a state of becoming present. Just feeling the events of the day all just melting away. continue to allow your sit bones to draw down and your heart to lift up, go ahead and start to create just a nice gentle wave of breath, starting to move and flow in and out through your nose. And just nice and gradually start inviting the inhales to become a little bit deeper, richer. And those exhales to become a little bit more extended, a little bit more long. Just coming back to that remembrance that by shaping the breath, you also begin to naturally shape the mind. That the mind and the breath are almost one and the same. So as your breath finds that steady quality, notice that mind becoming more steady. And as that breath begins to deepen, notice your mental connection beginning to deepen as well. Just take the last several moments here, just allowing your mind and allowing your breath to merge together. Continuing to allow that stream of air to just move in and out through the nose. Just go ahead and slowly open up the eyes. Take your right hand, reach it over towards the right. Take your left arm and reach it up to the sky. And then bring your left hand over towards the right side of your face. And then just gently start allowing your left ear to come down towards your left shoulder. Just coming into a nice neck stretch. It feels like you want to crawl those right fingertips a little further out. We'll start to deepen that stretch. And just allow the natural weight of your left hand and left arm to pull that left ear very organically and non-aggressively down by that left shoulder. Start to feel those neck strands and all those subtle neck fibers whose job it is to hold the weight of the skull up, just getting a nice, sweet release. And then just imagine that you're breathing right to where you feel the stretch, where you feel the sensation. Good. From here, go ahead and bring the head back up. Release that left hand down. And then crawl the left fingertips over towards the left as that right arm reaches up. And then drape it over towards the left side of the face. And then just start enticing that right ear down by that right shoulder. You can even explore and experiment a little bit with the angle of that left hand. Maybe crawling it back a little bit more or out a little bit more to where you really feel like you found your sweet spot. As if you're just going to be searching through the terrain of the body, looking for knots, looking for kinks. And then as you find and you feel your way into those knots, then you hold it, and you breathe into it. You just allow the time, you allow the breath to just take care of everything. So it's more about allowing than it is about doing or achieving. Last couple breaths there. Good. Go ahead and release that head back up. Right hand down onto the ground. Here, go ahead and slide your block off to the side. So go ahead and sit all the way down. Bring the soles of the feet together. So toes forward, heels in, knees out. Grab your feet and then draw your feet in towards your body. Roll the outer hips down, so both hips and that external rotation. And then on the inhale, lengthen your spine up nice and tall. And then bound angle, just start folding down to your own degree as you get into both the outer hips and also the groin and the inner thighs. So we've all heard that expression, the harder you are on something, the quicker that you wear it out. And we know within strong forms of exercise and athletics that, again, you're exerting a lot of stress and a lot of demand on certain areas in the body. And especially if you're doing something that's repetitive over and over and over again, like a runner or a cyclist, maybe even a swimmer, that can create a real true imbalance in those areas. So we get into these longer holds, and we allow this deep restoration and healing to begin to take place within the very deepest areas of our joint capsules, and also the ligaments and the connective tissues that are connected to those areas. So that first movement, we opened up the neck, and now just getting into the inner thighs and into the groin. And holding many of these positions for, a good 3 minutes or so. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little bit more. And almost like a deep sea diver, just see how deep you can dive into the very depths of the pose that you are experiencing. So you're not stuck on the surface of things. And that's really true for the mind as well. See how much you can get lost within your focus and your concentration of just being with the things that arise, the things that come up. Continuing to stay with that wave of the breath. Go ahead and start to ease your way all the way back up to seated. This next one's very similar, but it gets a different area of the body, what we call seated diamond. So slide the feet forward about a foot or so, so the low body is now shaped like a diamond. The hands grab the inner ankles. The fingers slide underneath the bottom side of the ankles, the elbows bend outward. Take an inhale, lift your heart up and out so you create that length and that extension. And then on the exhale, just start drawing your forehead down towards your feet. If you find that your head gets pretty close to the feet, sometimes it's nice to take a block and set that on top of the feet. And then you can just allow the weight of the head to rest right on top of that block. And so that'll create more of a restorative effect. Anytime you can let the skull be supported, that's going to bring your mind and your nervous system into an even deeper state of rest and relaxation. So the name of the game really is shifting into the parasympathetic nervous system, where we move away from fight, flight, freeze into more of a rest and digest experience. And it's in that state of the rest that the body begins to repair, to rebuild, to renew itself. So it's all about balance. To find the balance between the activity and then the rest. To give your body the time and the space that it needs to recharge and to become stronger. As we exert this healthy amount of pressure into those connected tissues, it starts to really trigger this domino effect where those connected tissues become both stronger but also longer. So the tissue becomes more healthy, it becomes more supple, and you get this hydration and the hyaluronic acid into those areas that don't often get touched or exposed. It takes at least a couple of minutes for that process to kind of kick in. So you could say patience is a virtue. Just kick back and give yourself full, complete, total permission to indulge. last few breaths there. From here, go ahead and transition all the way back up to seated. Bring your hands to the outer knees. Close the knees together. Spread the feet about the width of the shoulders. Hands behind you, a good foot or so. And then just windshield wiper so several times. Just let your knees flow side to side. Good, and then both knees back up to neutral. Crawl the hands in. And just swing your legs around. And then we'll come into tabletop pose. All fours position. And then we'll get into those wrists. So from here, see if you can take the tops of your hands down onto the floor, right onto your yoga mat. So a lot of what we do in a power yoga class, our hands and our wrists are in what we call extension. So all the chaturangas, the vinyasas. And so as you bring your hands, the tops of your hands flat onto the floor, now you're moving them into flexion. And of course, athletes, especially athletes that use their arms and their hands quite a bit, there's a lot of stuff happening in those wrists. So we want those wrists to be nice and supple. You can think about these joints almost as if they're links of your bodily chain. And if one link gets off, then it affects all the other links. And of course, we know that to be true within Chinese medicine and the whole meridian system. You just want to make sure all those links are strong, loose, and supple. If it feels like you could use a little more, and it might be subtle, you can draw your hips back. And again, it might just be like half an inch. And you're looking for that good stress on the wrist. That good stress is going to trigger that rebuilding of the tissues in there. Even the bones become stronger. Just take another maybe 10 or so breaths here. Nice, you guys. Start to ease out of that. Those wrists are going to feel a little tender. Bring the hands normally flat back onto the mat. And then turn the fingertips outward. So fingertips out. And then just kind of sway side to side now. Just getting into the wrist from a different angle. A little bit of a gentle sway and flow. Imagining that you're moving that chi and that prana, that subtle life force around that joint space. Then we'll come back to neutral. Turn the fingertips back towards your knees and your thighs. Fingertips straight back. And then not only do we get that stretch to the wrist, but also majorly through the forearms. And again, to the degree that feels right, you can draw your hips back. You might even shift back so that the front of your hand lifts up an inch or two off the ground. And you get into the fingers there. This kind of wrist flexibility is really good for some of the advanced yoga poses like handstand, arm balances, and inversions as well. Good, and then go ahead and ease out of that, shifting the fingers back towards the front, and then crawl your hands back towards your knees, and then sit down onto your heels, onto your feet. An alternative as well as you can sit on top of a block here if that feels better. You can get a nice stretch to the tops of the feet so the ankles benefit. Now take your right hand straight out in front of you. So you're looking at the center of your palm. The left hand comes around the front of that right hand. You're going to press forward through your right hand as you draw back through your left hand. So moving the wrist back into flexion. And then you can use your drishti, you can use your gaze or your focal point right at the center of the hand. In yoga medicine, Ayurveda, there's a point there called Tala Hridaya. And there's said to be a channel that runs from the center of the palm right to the center of the chest. Nice, and then go ahead and switch hands. Same thing, other side. So just feel that little press and pull. And then we'll go ahead and release the hands down by your sides. On an inhale, circle the arms up to the sky. Interlace the fingers, turn the palms inside out. Get a good stretch through your sides. And then on the exhale, hands flow all the way back down. You're just moving the energy down to ground. And again, inhale, reach the arms up. Interlace. Hold the breath at the top. And then on the exhale, hands just pressing all that energy down. One more time. Inhale up. Interlace. Get a good stretch through your sides, through your wrists, your shoulders. And exhale. Just move it all the way back down. Beautiful, you guys. Back to tabletop pose, all fours position. Stack the shoulders right above the wrist. From here, lean into your left hand. Take your right arm and reach it up to the ceiling. So big inhale, broaden across your right chest. And then go ahead and thread your right arm underneath the left arm. Relax that outer right shoulder down onto the floor. Coming into a nice, sweet shoulder stretch, getting into the shoulders. Now the right arm will stay as is. The left hand could stay where it's at, or you might want to consider sliding it forward towards the top of your yoga mat. Or you may want to reach the left hand around behind the back and grab onto your inner right leg, right thigh. So you come into a raft variation. Just kind of depends on what feels good and what it is that your body needs. So find that place. Know that you have options. Find that place that feels right. Just for a couple of minutes here. Just allowing those tissues around that right shoulder to stretch. Nice, you guys. Go ahead and unthread that right arm. Just bring it back to tabletop pose, all four position. And then we'll do some cat and cows. On the inhale, pull the heart forward, drop your belly. On the exhale, round that back as slow as can be. And on your own, just continue there. Maybe even closing the eyes if it feels right. We get into this world of yin. Yin is soft, it's slow, it's deep, it's dark, it's internal. So as much as you can, feel free to keep that awareness more inward than outward. There's a study that came out recently that said when we close our eyes, we can conserve 20% of our energy. So the sense of sight takes up a lot of our energetic capacity, which probably explains why meditation can be so powerful. Nice. Come back to a neutral spine, neutral tabletop pose. And thread the needle other side. So take that left arm, just float it up nice and smooth. And then take that left arm and just thread it right underneath that right arm. Relaxing that outer left shoulder down. And just finding that optimal position for your right hand, right arm, even if that means just keeping it where it's at. And totally fine to even do a different variation on this side than you did on the other side. Totally fine. Good. Go ahead and unthread that left arm. Coming all the way back to tabletop pose. And then from here on an inhale, we'll come into cow. So drop the belly, heart forward. And on the exhale, shift the hips back towards child's pose. So hips melt back, forehead comes down. We'll keep it moving. So inhale back through table. Draw the heart forward through the shoulders. Feel that backward bend. And then on the exhale, back to child's pose, and try a few more of those on your own. And just feel that sweet stretch, especially through the lower back, the sacrum, the hips, the shoulders. Next time you come back to cow, drop that belly and arch that back. Instead of coming back to child's pose, we'll take it into down dog. So tuck the toes, lift the hips all the way up to the sky. And then spread your feet wide, so wide enough so that they actually come off of your yoga mat onto the hardwood floor. And then bring your feet forward about 2 or 3 inches so you shorten the stance, and just more of a yin downward facing dog, so that should soften it dramatically. And just a nice gentle press through your palms. Allow the hips to ascend upwards so you create that tractioning effect through the whole spine. And then feel those heels descending down towards the mat, just creating a nice stretch across the whole back sides of the legs, hamstrings, backs of the knees, the calves, all the way down through the Achilles heels. And just letting that head dangle free. The neck soft, the face soft, the brain still soft. Just continuing to indulge. From here, bring those feet back in about the width of the hips. Back to more of a traditional downward facing dog. And then feel free to walk your dog. So alternate one heel down towards the ground. Just switching side to side. Continuing to work out those kinks across the backs of legs, which of course for many athletes gets really, really tight. And then from here, we'll take one last inhale, gently press the hips back, and then lightly walk both feet forward all the way to the front of your yoga mat. Spread the feet out about the width of the hips, and then slide your hands up to your shins. Let's actually do this. Bring the fingers to the outer calves, so the outer legs, and find your way into flat back as you pull your heart forward away from that low back. Make sure your chin is coming slightly in so that neck, that cervical spine, nice and long. On the inhale, reach the heart out a little bit further. And then forward fold on the exhale, just melt down, opening up the hamstrings. Do that a few more times. Inhale, flat back, heart reaches out. And then fold on the exhale. 3 more. Inhale, feel that breath leading the movement. And exhale, back down. Last 2. Inhale, reach it out. And exhale, fold it in. One more time. Inhale, fill those lungs up. Exhale, fold down. Put a little bend into your knees. Bring your hands up to your waist. Ground through your feet, lead through your heart. On an inhale, rise and reach both arms up above. Interlace all the fingers but the indexes. Take another inhale, press down to the soles of the feet as you lift up what we call steeple pose. And then lean to the right on the exhale. Coming into a side bend, lateral flexion. So breathe into your left ribs. Breathe that oxygen into your left lung. Back up to center on the inhale. Same thing to the other side on the exhale. Inhale up to center. And then hands to prayer in front of your heart. Release the arms down by your sides. Tadasana, the mountain pose. And then we'll do some shoulder circles. So right arm floats up on the inhale. Circle and cross it over and down on the exhale. And left arm floats up on the inhale. Over and down on the exhale, just getting that fluidity, the synovial fluid in the shoulder joint. Right arm up on the inhale. Over on that exhale. Left arm up on the inhale. Over and down, exhale. Just like Qigong, one more round. Inhale up. And exhale. Last side. Inhale up. And exhale over. Beautiful, you guys. Both arms to the sky. Inhale, reach up, grow long, get tall. And forward fold, flow all the way over and down. Now from here, go ahead and heel toe your feet together side by side. And then just take your left foot back slightly, lift it up a little bit. And then cross it behind your right leg. Set your feet next to each other. And then on the inhale, reach the heart out. And then exhale, fold down, giving that left calf a nice deep stretch. And if it feels like it's a little too intense, you can always put a block underneath your hands. So feel free to use that. And again, use the power of that mind to steer that energy right to where you feel the action taking place. As if that brought more potency to the pose, to the stretch. And if that left calf muscle feels really tense, really tight, each exhale that you breathe out, just feel that tension melting away. And feel that muscle just continuing to open up and stretch. Just a few more breaths there. Nice, you guys. Take that left foot, bring it up and back, lift it up a little bit on the inhale. And then next to the right foot on the exhale, spread the feet out about the width of the hips. Grab opposite elbows with the hands. Put a box around your head. And feel free here to let that torso sway side to side, or sometimes a little bounce up and down is nice, or a little hybrid of the two. Good. Release the hands, the arms down. Go ahead and heel toe the feet together side by side. And then bring your right foot up and back. Cross the right foot behind the left. Set those feet next to each other. Hands low, breath in that gentle flow. On the inhale, draw the heart up and out. And then fold. Just let that torso, like a blanket, drape right over top your left leg. Allow your chin to curl in towards your breastbone. Neck nice and long. Good. Now from here, this next transition is going to be a little different than the last time we did it. So you're going to lift that right leg up towards the sky on the inhale. And then go ahead and lunge your right foot, right toe softly to the back of your yoga mat. And then spin your back right foot flat. Turn the left foot in parallel to the right. So you're now facing the right side of the studio. Hands on the ground, the width of the shoulders, come up onto the fingertips. Enjoy an inhale, linking out through the heart. And then both hands to the waist on the exhale. Now ground to the feet. On the inhale, come all the way up to standing. Spread the arms out wide. Flip the palms to the sky. Take the right arm underneath and around that left arm as we come back to those shoulders. But also the elbows, the hands, the wrists, and the forearms. So the eagle shoulder stretch. So the first several breaths we'll just hold here, allowing the deltoids to get that touch. So you can take your scapula and your shoulder blades, and you can pull those out away from each other.
Sorry.
They say that we receive generosity, kindness, and love through the back of the heart. And then we are able to give it and offer it through the front of the heart. Within this particular movement, this is where we're really able to open up the back side of the heart. Now we'll move into the next stage of the stretch, taking it a little deeper. On the inhale, lean back, elbows to the sky. On the exhale, fold over and down, keeping those arms intertwined. Now see how much you can relax through your shoulders. The hands kind of have to grip slightly to hold the wrap. Try and relax your shoulders. And by relaxing those more superficial muscles, the deeper tissues underneath it will start to get the touch. Last few breaths down here. Nice, you guys. Now root down through your feet. And on an inhale, rise up with a long, flat back. Arms and elbows back up. And then release those arms out on the exhale. Both arms to the sky. On the inhale, palms briefly unite. And then on the exhale, pull your elbows into the ribs and stretch your back and your chest. Again, inhale, arms come up. And exhale, elbows to the ribs. So you can see we do like the deep stretch, and then we follow it with the vinyasa, flow of some sort. Inhale, arms back up. And exhale, give those ribs a healthy little squeeze. This time, inhale, bring the arms back up to the sky. And then bring your hands to your lower back, fingertips straight down. So imagine you're sliding your hands into pant pockets. So you have your hands on the low back, the heel of the hand right above that sacral ridge, and you press into the soft tissue of the low back. Imagine that you're doing a camel pose, a back bend. Press down through your feet, lift your chest up, and just start leaning back. You draw your inner elbows towards each other. You breathe right into the middle of your chest. One last inhale there. Exhale, slowly fold over and down. Let the hands slide down the legs. Grab onto the outer edges of the feet. Maybe the calves, ankles. Just get a wide grip there. And then inhale, pull the heart up and out. And then exhale, draw the top of the head down towards the ground. And feel that stretch through the abductors, the inner legs. Also through the backs of the legs, the hamstrings. Spinous erectors, those muscles that go up and down and along that spinal cord. So we continue to create more freedom, more space, and more mobility within the body. So that our body can move in all the miraculous ways that it was meant to be able to express itself. Release the outer edges of the feet, hands back onto the ground, the width of the shoulders. Come up onto those fingertips. Inhale, elongate your sternum out. And then hands back to the waist on the out breath. Pause there for a moment. And then inhale, stand and float all the way up. Spread those arms back out wide. Rotate the palms back up to the sky. This time, left arm underneath and around that right arm. So just wrap those arms around each other. The shoulders feel really tense or maybe just broad. You can always do the half variation as an option. Take several breaths there, breathing right to the back of your heart. Next phase here on the inhale, press down, lift up, lean on back. And then exhale, go ahead and take that plunge all the way over and down. And best this could be, just feel yourself just surrendering to gravity. The yin practice is the perfect practice to practice the art of letting go, the art of surrender. Surrender in a really, really good way. Good, you guys. Next inhale, go ahead and rise all the way back up. Open those arms back out wide. Bring the hands behind the low back. This time, interlace the fingers. Draw your knuckles down. On the inhale, lift the chest up, lean back. And then go ahead and fold over and down into a super sweet stretch to the whole upper back, shoulder, trap area. And then try this. Try peeling your outer right chest back. So just rotating the torso. As you're ready, same thing to the other side. Peel that outer left shoulder back. And feel that exact spot where your inner left chest and your inner left shoulder comes together. And then back to center, back to neutral. Enjoy one more final inhale there to deepen. And then both hands down to the ground. We'll crawl the torso forward towards that front left foot. Go ahead and spin your left toes forward. Pivot onto the back right toes. So you're in a runner's lunge. Step the left foot back to plank. You can always drop your knees down here if you want. Just going to take one inhale here. And then go ahead and lower slowly all the way down onto your belly, right onto the floor. Release the tops of the feet. And then Sphinx pose, so slide your elbows, your forearms forward. So make sure your shoulders are right above your elbows. Your middle finger points straight forward. The tops of the feet anchor into the floor. And then take the skin of your forearms. This is more energetic than actually moving something. But take the skin of your forearms and feel that pulling back. And notice how your heart goes forward through the shoulders a little more, so you're creating more length to the spine. Then you can let that chest start to lift up. And it might feel good to actually have the chin coming slightly down. Just a little bit of a softer Sphinx. And just being here in a nice, easy, yin style backward bend. From here, let's bend that right foot in. Reach back with your right hand, catch that right foot. And just draw your right foot down towards the outside of that outer right thigh. And just feel one of the largest, most massive, powerful muscles in the body, the quadricep. Just getting a nice deep stretch. Extra added bonus, if it's available for you, you can have those right fingertips rotating forward, and then you get a good kind of right shoulder stretch as well. But if that's not available, just do what you can do. Go ahead and give that one last little tug down. Relax that right leg back to Sphinx. Get a couple breaths there, just in the center. And second side, bend that left foot in. Reach back with that left hand. Grab onto that left foot. Turn that outer left hip down. Pull that left foot to the floor. Just to your own degree. Last little tug there. Relax that left foot, left leg back. Back to Sphinx pose. Just take the last few breaths here. One more inhale in Sphinx. And on the exhale, just allow your chest to release down to the ground. Good. Slide the hands back by the rib. Just taking your time, just moving slow, like molasses. Press up to tabletop, all fours. Draw the knees forward all the way to the front of your mat. Cross the feet behind, release onto your sit bones. Go ahead and come all the way down onto your back. So we're going to climb back. As you recline back, we'll grab onto the shins. Squeeze the knees into your belly. Give your lower back a little gentle rock side to side. Massaging into the tenderness of the low back. And then keeping your right knee hugged in. Go ahead and extend your left leg straight out in front of you on the floor. Spread the right arm out towards the right. And then just let that right knee drape all the way across over towards the left. Into reclining bent knee, reclining spinal twist. Sometimes it's nice to even put a block underneath that right knee. And see where it feels good to have your gaze, whether you're looking out over your right arm, looking straight up, or maybe you turn the gaze over towards the left. There's this quote by the scientist philosopher Blaise Pascal who said, "All man's troubles derive from not being able to sit quietly in a room alone." When we have an ability to get still, when we have an ability to be with ourselves and to be with the good and the bad, the light and the dark, whatever it is that comes up in any given moment without running away or
Thanks
denying
for joining my live. Hi. Pizza.
you truly begin to deepen
Hi.
your relationship to self.
Thank you. Okay, bye.